Hello, hello. Okay, I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to do the print and cut using the Cameo. I've had a lot of people asking. I did a cup that had a little elephant on it, like a sugar skull elephant, and then another cup that had a Day of the Dead skull with some blue roses on it. And people were asking how I cut so close to my image when I'm using the Waterslide. You can do this using Waterslide, you can do it using cardstock, you can do it using paper. Anything that you can print on, you should be able to cut in the Cameo. So, but here's what a design looks like after this is done on Waterslide. So it's cut around all of the edges. Well, it's really hard to see because the camera is so dark, but like I said, it's just cut really nice around the edges. So let's get started on how this is done. So first of all, you're going to want to find your image. Once you find your image, you're going to go up to your trace window, and you're going to want to select your traced area. Once we have our image traced, I turn off the high pass filter. You can leave it on and just adjust it that way. But anyway, on this one, I'm going to turn it off, and we're going to take it all the way up until everything is filled in yellow. Once it's filled in yellow, you're going to go up and just hit trace outer edge. That's going to give you the cut line all the way around the edge of this design. So let's take the design over to our paper. Now you have to have your registration marks on in order for this to work. Let me see if I can get the camera up so that you can see what. And this is your registration mark. And it'll say turn it on. Mine's type 1. So we have our image over here. So I'm going to set up this image on the page where I want it. Now, if you're doing Waterslide and stuff like that, to keep them from wasting your Waterslide, I always suggest that you print out just on plain paper, just black and white plain paper, so that you can make sure the size is going to be okay, that's going to fit on the cup. If you're doing a cup or a plate or whatever, you just want to make sure that the image is the correct size before you actually print on the Waterslide, because the Waterslide is expensive. So, but in this case, I'm just using cardstock. So I'm going to go up to the print settings, and I'm just going to print normal, and we're going to hit print. Wake up. I guess while that's printing, we can move you over to the Cameo. Okay. Now that we have our image printed, you can see the registration marks on the paper. We're going to put this on top of the cutting mat. And I have to use tape because the sticky on my cutting mat is just not that sticky anymore. I'm going to load it. And if you're using Waterslide and if you're using cardstock, these are the settings you're going to want to cut it at. So we're going to go up to the cut settings. Okay, we're going to come down to cardstock. It's set on 3. The blade thickness, or the blade is set at 3. The speed I take down to 3 or 4. The thickness is at 33. And then we're going to go ahead and send it to the Cameo. If you hear all that racket that it's making, that's because it's looking for the registration mark. That bright light in the background is shining directly at the back so that the registration marks can be seen by the eye. If it's dark or there's not enough light in your room, then it won't read it and it'll come up with an error. Can't locate registration marks or something along those lines. Now, if you were using Waterslide, after you print your image, you're going to want to take it outside and you're going to want to seal it. Make sure that it dries really, really well before you do this step. So again, if you're using Waterslide, you want to seal it before you cut it. This is just cardstock to give you an example of how it cuts and what it does, so I didn't have to worry about it. But you do want to make sure to seal your Waterslide if you're using Waterslide. But if you're using cardstock or paper, you just take it directly in and cut it. Okay, so we are done. I'm going to unload it. There you go. And that's how you do the print and cut with the Cameo. Thanks for watching.